A couple of days ago, I was browsing YouTube for new videos to watch, and I stumbled upon this video for the YouTube channel The Truther Girls. It was a video about vaccination and how it produces autism. Most of the times, these kinds of videos I just ignore. But since this one, she mentioned a study, and I know there are not peer-reviewed studies that actually conclude that vaccination produces autism, I was quite intrigued to find out which study she was talking about. So I watched, and after I watched, I decided to debunk her fallacies, clarify what the study says, and try to put my little 2 cents in refuting these crazy and dangerous ideas. Because when you do not vaccinate your kids, we are talking about life and death decisions. Vaccinations have proved over the decades that they are very effective of preventing disease. Since vaccination started to be used, the human life expectancy has steadily been growing. And after you see this video, I hope that some of my audience or any other of the free-thinking community here in YouTube with more scientific expertise on this area take up on these allegations and make a more thorough review of this video. Let's watch.
At the end, I'm going to show you this enormous study from Poland that proves without a doubt that vaccines dysregulate the immune system, they cause autoimmune disease and autism.
One distinct characteristic of conspiracy theory junkies when they are presenting their conspiracy or any one of the topics they like to touch, if they use any reference in their video, most of the time you have to go and check that reference and read it, because most likely the person using this as a source have not read it completely. If this lady read the report that she was using as source for this video, she completely misunderstood what she read, and I will prove you why.
So the bottom line is there is ample proof that vaccines do cause autism and other immune disorders.
First of all, this study does not conduct medical trials or anything like that. It just relied on other papers on the effects of vaccinations, and it actually addressed the adverse neurologic events that happen exactly following vaccination, not long-term consequences of vaccination. The abstracts say that the report summarizes data on neurological adverse events following vaccination. The neurological complications after vaccination were described, the role of vaccination in the natural course of infectious diseases, and the current immunization schedules in Poland was discussed in this paper. So to be quite clear, this report did not make any experiments or research on children themselves. What they did is that they look on medical history at the hospital and also review many other papers relating to the topic. In its first page, they go on and saying, despite the assurances of the necessity and safety of vaccinations, there are more and more questions and doubts which both physicians and parents are waiting to be clarified. This paper describes several aspects of the immunization program of children. It includes the physiological development of the immune system, the immunization schedule adopted in Poland in comparison with other countries, adverse reactions and complications following the vaccination that were described in scientific publications, the natural course of infectious disease, and elucubrating on the problem of reporting adverse reactions by medical personnel and parents. The paper offers a proposal in changing the vaccination schedule in Poland. Under no circumstances, this paper suggested or recommended that vaccination programs should stop, nor it concluded that it produces autism, as I will prove in the following minute. The introduction also mentioning that there should be a second part of the study, which will confirm or exclude the relationship of vaccines with the reported adverse events. What they're saying is that this paper does not establish a relationship between vaccines and the reported adverse events. One small snippet of how this report does not conclude what this woman says is this following paragraph. What then occurs in the brain of a child? Presently, there are not studies in this area. So How come if there are no studies on what's going on the brain after these events, somebody reading this paper can conclude?
So the bottom line is there is ample proof that vaccines do cause autism and other immune disorders.
If you go to the conclusions of the paper, it says clearly what the papers have concluded, and it is not what this woman is saying in her video. Despite the assurances of the necessity and safety of vaccinations, there are more and more questions and doubts which both physicians and parents are waiting to be clarified. This paper describes several aspects of the immunization program of children, and then it's saying the proposal for changing in vaccination presented at the end of this paper is, according to the author, parts of the answer to the concerns and doubts. Changes in vaccination, not elimination of vaccination. And then concluding, these reports present a picture of neuroimmune disorders which may be the result of vaccination carried out on an increasingly wider scale. A clear answer to this hypothesis will require both large-scale epidemiological studies as well as in-depth laboratory research. So what they are saying is that this is some information that helped them create the hypothesis that they might be a problem, but they are not concluding what that problem is. They are actually recommending that a large-scale epidemiological study be made with laboratory research. So this is not a conclusive report. This is only the analysis of other reports. The report says it. How this woman can go and conclude that this is the panacea that will prove everybody that vaccines are the causes of autism. I know that this is not a thorough review of this paper. She also mentioned some other articles in her video, and I went to all these articles. All of these articles are from conspiracy theories blogs on health and vaccination, and one of them that looks to be respectable was actually published by a PR company, one company that you pay money to publicize something that you have written, most likely because no reputable magazine or science journal or newspaper want to publish. So that is the extent of this woman's evidence, which once you have reviewed in detail, must conclude that her video was a major fail on her part.
And one of the best ways to prove whether vaccines cause autism and autoimmune disease or not would be to have a study with an unvaccinated control group. And unfortunately, this has never been done with humans.
There is a quote I showed you in this video that I want to read, and I want to conclude with it. All of the Googling and general science knowledge in the world will not and cannot replace years of research and study on vaccines, and both their efficacy and safety. And yet, parents like this woman consistently choose not to vaccinate children based on their own research. That is pathetic and at the same time very sad. Thank you for your attention.